So Bad Bunny is going to be headlining the Super Bowl next year with all his songs in Spanish, and I know the MAGA is going to love it. And the predictable outrage is here. So they're calling him a massive Trump hater and a demonic Marxist for his political views and and because he's going to be performing in Spanish. And, you know, we've seen this movie before, but the reaction is almost a carbon copy of what we saw last year with Kendrick Lamar and the backlash that he received for his unapologetically black performance at the Super Bowl. Bad Bunny, obviously from Puerto Rico. Most of his records are in Spanish, you know, and with the way everything is right now, that's, you know, obviously going to be a little contentious to some people. So what is it about the Super Bowl halftime show that makes this such a battleground for American culture wars, do you think?
America.
Yeah, 100%
That's just
America.
what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
America.
And it's crazy that it gets so much attention for those 10 minutes that an artist is going to be performing.
That they don't get paid for.
They don't get paid for. I mean, there's a butterfly effect that comes from that Super Bowl performance.
100%.
But it's about the two teams that are playing. It's the NFL. You come to watch the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is on for what, 2.5 hours?
Maybe longer.
And
Give or take.
The
It's probably
entertainment is 10 to 15 minutes. And this is always the focal point of the year. So we play a whole season of football or whatever sport, and it leads up to the Super Bowl, and people get mad about those 10, 15 minutes. And what's so crazy about this shit to me is America is supposed to be built off of culture, right?
And diversity.
And diversity. And somebody that's culture is different than yours, who is also American because he's Puerto Rican.
Yep.
He's from Puerto Rico. This is part of America.
Bar.
And
since the 1800s, right?
Yeah, like you can't.
I can't remember what its like technical status is. If it's
But
like
they're a part of America.
province,
Like you are an American citizen.
You're an American
Yes.
citizen.
Yeah,
At the
Puerto
end of the
Rico,
day,
yeah.
I don't need a passport to go to Puerto Rico.
Right.
Bar.
And it's so crazy because in America, if you don't think, act right, dress, talk like whoever's around, you automatically assume that they're not American. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big Bad Bunny fan, but
Couldn't tell you a song.
Couldn't tell you, but him performing at the Super Bowl has no merit, no ill will from me at all. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I can get up and do something else if I don't feel like watching that part of the
He's
show.
not wrong though, but I'm probably gonna do the same thing.
You know what
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying?
get up and get some nachos or something.
Honestly, I could care
100%.
less, man, but it's
It's a good
so
time
weird.
for a cigar. You know?
It's weird because in America, again, going back to the whole cultural aspect of everything, we're so one-sided when it comes to this shit because we're successful in other countries. They don't know what the we're talking about, but they still listen to our music. And we can still tour over there and sell out arenas without them knowing what the we're talking about and come back home with a bag since everybody's concerned about a bag.
But I will say English is definitely the most popular or redistributed language, or one of them around
it is.
You know.
Yeah, that's another thing to other cultures. They learn other languages.
Yeah.
Whereas here we feel like you have to
Speak
English
English.
is the only language that you're supposed to know, and I don't care less about that other language. If I ain't speaking English, then get out of here. Go back home. Get out of my country. He's from here. But yeah, that's just kind of where I stand at, you know, in the home of the thieves.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody
not the home of the thieves, land of the thieves, home of the slave.
Damn, Terry.
I mean, it's the truth.
Has anybody thought about how, I guess, Jay-Z's selections, if you will, in terms of, so he's pretty much over it.
It's not just him, though, is it?
It's not just him, but that's who they're going to point to, right?
Yes.
So does anybody think about how the NFL is looked at as vouching for said halftime show?
Let me
Does
tell you
anybody think about how they are, is a pushback for them as an entity and as a business because they're attached to it, they vouch for it?
Well, let me tell you something about the NFL. There's no more capitalist organization in the United States of America than the NFL.
Can't argue with you there.
The thing is, what a lot of these people who didn't realize that Puerto Rico was a United States territory have not taken into consideration is that the Super Bowl is a global event. It's not
Facts.
a United States event. You know, and the thing is, the NFL is coming for everybody's trap, if you will. They want the NFL to be the world's game.
They want that real football money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
playing games in Europe.
That's soccer
more and more.
So
Yeah.
they want, and so when you're talking about bringing someone on who's a Spanish language artist like Bad Bunny, it's not just because he's Spanish language and that's going to appeal to a certain part of the world. You have to look at the metrics that Bad Bunny brings. He moves a lot of units.
He's
He
the
does
number one selling artist in America.
He does a lot of streams. He's got a lot of awards.
Male.
He has a wide, very wide, ranging net, if you will, of fans. Just because we don't know about him or that we're not a fans of Bad Bunny or we talk about him on this show, that doesn't mean that he isn't the dude as far as these numbers are concerned.
No, he is.
And so the NFL is actually very savvy, if you will, as far as bringing him on board because they're thinking about international. Like, I know people are like, why don't we get some country music artists? Like, I'll be honest, when you look at the numbers, country music does well in regions of the United States of America. It's not an international art form that, you can go to Europe, you can go to Russia, you can go to South America,
that
and people
speaks
are into
volumes in itself about the nature of America right now. Go ahead, keep
exactly.
going.
So when I saw this, I was like, that is genius.
Yeah.
That is what you're supposed to do when you're trying to grow a game internationally and globally. So, when I saw this, and also, there are people who are going to say this is a political statement. This is Jay-Z doing a bit of trolling to the current administration. And you know what? That's fine. But, you can back it up with a level of with metrics.
Facts.
That make sense as far as growing this. People like, I trust me, I was on Facebook today. It was like, I don't know who Bad Bunny is. I don't know why I did that voice. But
that's how we sound.
Yeah, that voice wasn't it, though. That wasn't it.
That's how all white people sound.
But I'm
Gee golly.
But those,
every one of us.
But those people who are upset about Bad Bunny, you know what they're going to do? They're still going to watch the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So
No, they're boycotting.
Yeah,
they've been doing for the past 10 years.
Because I remember
Go Cowboys.
And the thing is, when people say, "Oh, well, we should have," even they say we should have American artists. It's like, that's what Kendrick Lamar was.
Yeah.
He's an American artist.
But when the Who played, who is not an American artist, when you talk about when the Rolling Stones popped up there,
it's exhausting.
there has been a host. I mean, honestly, even when you talk about Rihanna and The Weeknd, those are not artists from the United States of America.
Come on.
So,
they speak English though.
I mean, because
so that makes them American.
Once again, it's about that otherness.
We're such a fucking stupid nation, man.
It's stupid.
It's about the otherness of someone who doesn't speak a language that you understand, and you got to. And even if you put up the closed captioning, you wouldn't be able to read it anyway because you don't know. You got through Spanish 1 in high school.
They can't read any damn way. Another thing, real quick.
That's
real
petty.
quick about this
barely
Bad
read
Bunny
English.
thing.
That's petty.
The MAGA folks are mad at Bad Bunny because he stopped touring in America based off of he doesn't want ICE showing up to his shows, detaining his fans.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
I get it.
Good for him.
That's not necessarily a political statement, but they take it as a political statement. No, he's keeping his fans safe.
It is a political statement, though.
I mean, it is, but it ain't. In the same token,
it's not a
Then
negative.
he went back.
It's not a negative political statement.
No, it's not negative, but it's like I'm not trying to put anybody in harm's way.
Sure.
That rock with me.
Yeah,
that's noble to me. You know what I'm saying? But he went back to Puerto Rico and has done hella sold out shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's the number one selling artist in America right now, male wise.
U.S. soil.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless of if he's speaking English or Spanish or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, man. I don't, like I said, and I'm sure none of us has really listened to Bad Bunny.
I know a few of his songs.
I know a few of his
just
songs,
because,
but
like,
I'm not saying I'm riding around listening to Bad Bunny.
No, I mean I had because creating playlists for my situation. Like I know I have Spanish customers, so
but it doesn't piss you off that he's on there. That's what I'm saying.
No, like I
I don't
don't
think America's going to be happy.
Bad
Well,
Bunny.
a certain segment of America isn't going to be happy until either Kid Rock or Morgan Wallen are playing the Super
Kid
Bowl.
Rock's last record sold like 25,000
They
copies.
want him to do it.
Morgan
All right,
Wallen
so
was
no,
a-
he can't do it.
Morgan Wallen was the name that I was going to throw out there. But Spoolz, jump in this, man. Where you at?
Well, first, I'm going to start off with just a real quick funny story. So when they announced this during the Sunday night football game at halftime, I think, I was watching that game, Packers and Cowboys. And my buddy, shout out to my man Sax, I was texting with him about it. And I was jokingly said to him, I think I started the conversation off with, there's 24 hours in a day. How many of those hours do you spend listening to Bad Bunny? Right? Just jokingly, you know what I mean? Just because basically saying I'm an old nerd and I don't know much about Bad Bunny. So my buddy texts back, he's like, well, you know, just sarcastically like, oh, you know, on an off day, maybe 10 to 12, normally 16. And then he goes, but to be honest with you, man, I really don't know much of her music.
Her music? Damn.
And I go, that's funny potentially in two ways. Either you're playing along well with the joke and acting like you do know who he is, but you called him a her, or you genuinely don't know that it's a male. And he goes, no, I didn't know it was a male. I've never listened to Bad Bunny's music. You know what I mean? So it was just nerds who didn't know. I've heard of Bad Bunny. I couldn't name a song, but I know the face, you know what I mean? And the sound and things like that. And yeah, he's an extremely popular artist. Like,
he's got his own shoe.
So now what angle do I want to take with this?
That's what I want to hear, Spoolz.
We want to hear let's go the entertainment angle. We haven't taken that one. Why are we so goddamn obsessed in the United States with being entertained? And why do we have to judge everything, every little piece of entertainment and every entertainer there is, more so than like more important things that go on in society?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, dude. And real quick to jump, somebody had, and I'll go deeper into that, but when Beyonce did the Super Bowl, she's Black Panther and, you know, stuff like, you know, it's just like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are we doing? Like, why are you so riled up about this? Yeah, like, damn it. Like, it just, I don't know. It's frustrating, man. Like, I thought I was really naive up until about 2016. But I was like, oh man, we've made some progress in this country. You know what I mean? I was like, no.
But you know, Spoolz, we're in an era where people are driven and feed off. That's the time that you're gonna have pretty much. I'm not gonna say the world. I'm not gonna use hyperbole, but that's a lot of eyes for you to be able to show your ass or do whatever you want to do. And I think sometimes people are driven by that. They'll jump out the window just because this is the only time I'm going to be. It's a unique situation. So with
it doesn't. It happens every year.
No, for sure. But what I'm saying is everybody doesn't get to do it every year.
For that artist.
You mean for that artist? Yeah. So when each artist jumps on that stage, it's like, yo, I got one time to get whatever I want to get out. We about to get this off. And we're in an era where people, to your point, want to be entertained. Everybody's focused on getting or being entertained.
Yeah, it's to me, it's a lot. It's too much in my opinion. Everybody can do whatever. That's what America's truly founded on, right? Don't tell me what the to do. I'm going to do whatever I want.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's good for me, bad for me, good for my brain, bad for my brain. If I'm feeding into the bullshit or not, you can't tell me what to do. That's truly what America's really built on.
Right.
That and racism and, you know, capitalism and things like that. But the need to, like, it's the biggest, to me, like, kind of manipulation that is done, or one of the bigger ones, or the like distractions at the end of the day. Like, for everyone who's mad about Bad Bunny or whatever the case might be, like, you could be reading more into a real issue and finding out the truth about, like, what Donald Trump's regime is truly doing to the country right now, right? Or something else. But we have been made so dumb in this country, I think, and so tamed and so kind of controlled by entertainment. And I think that was definitely part of the plan at the end of the day. And it's nothing really new. Like, that's been going on for a long time. It's a way, like, if you want to go really far, it kind of feeds into capitalism because of the, I don't know, like, unfortunate nature for most of the people who have to participate in a capitalist system at the end of the day. Like, entertainment takes your mind off of all that shit. You can keep going. It numbs you.
Yeah.
You don't have, you know, you can keep doing whatever it is you're doing that you know isn't great at the end of the day, but you have to participate in the system because you have to pay your bills and you have to feed your kids and you have to do all that. But I can watch the game. And guys, I'm not above any of this, by the way. I love the Bears. I watch football every Saturday. I'm a huge Notre Dame fan. I'm a huge Cubs fan.
And you save up to buy eggs, you know, like the rest of us.
Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we can still step back and still, like, people often say, and I think this is a liberal conservative difference too, like, conservatives want to roll with America no matter what, and they think they're more American because of that. Whereas I think sometimes liberals and I'll put myself in this category for right now, feel that I love this country so much, I feel like I can look at it and be critical of it because I want it to be better than it is.
Yeah, and that's another foundational point of America.
Right.
Mhm.
And maybe
To be able to be critical of the thing that you're a part of.
and
Shot the ball
sometimes I wonder if that's just part of there's the rhetoric and the reality, right? The concept, I'll just to throw this out, and this might sound left field, but I'll bring it back. The concept of who white is has changed in the United States since the beginning of this country,
You
too.
said who white is?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
Trust me,
If
the
you ask-
Italians have not always been white.
Nope.
The Irish have
The
not always
Germans
been
were
white.
never always white.
You know,
According to Ben Franklin, this is from one of his books or something that he wrote, he felt like only people basically from England, like white people from England, should be the ones that populate the United States.
I'm somebody that only recently realized how Germany has not a really old country.
No, it started about the time of our Civil War.
I had no idea
1865.
until like maybe 6-7 months ago.
It was a collection of territories and things like Bavaria. You hear about Bavarian chocolate and things like that. Like Bavaria's always been around, but it wasn't Germany until like 1862 or something like that when they made a confederation. But no, the reason why I bring that up is that everybody the people who choose hang their hat on what they feel are, at the end of the day, like these kind of white Christian nationalist ideals, and that is the standard for what America is. Like, most of you weren't considered white when this country was made.
Man,
Yeah.
Straight up.
Some of you aren't
just something to consider.
that's
Some
tough.
of you who espouse white Christian nationalist values aren't considered white now. But that's neat. That's something else. The thing is about Bad Bunny being centered as the halftime act in the Super Bowl. I think it's a lot of white, or, you know, whatever you call white people's opportunity to say, well, what about me?
Be careful.
What about what I like? And this is the same conversation we've probably had going on the last 6 or 7 years, or however long Jay-Z has been a part of planning the Super Bowls. It's like, okay, we had Usher. Okay, we had Kendrick Lamar. We had Rihanna. When are we going to get a country act? When are we going to get, some classic rock in there? And once again, I think it goes back to not only the influence of Jay-Z, but it also goes back to the influence of the NFL is trying to grow this game internationally.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about.
If you look at the NFL as a product, it's 100%. And if you look at it over the span of years, it's not even just. Look at the rules and how they've changed in the NFL over time. Like the product, the people who love watching football and love the rules and don't mind like I was watching Penn State and Oregon Saturday. It was 3-3 at halftime. That was a great game.
Yeah,
I enjoyed every minute of it, man. But that's to a fan who's maybe not as invested in football. Like, they don't want to see that. They want to see the
high scoring
games, and the rules favor that more now.
Yeah.
Most
Right?
people that are
just like basketball.
most people
exactly.
that are NFL veterans or longtime fans, they consider it watered down at this point. Packers Cowboys was 40-40. It ended up in a tie.
Yeah.
Like it gets them going. Like that. It's that.
It's being
You know what I'm saying?
being made into a product to be marketed to a larger group of people, and
Yeah.
that is business. That is capitalism. The games that they're playing, I think, more every year in Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
They're trying to get
Yeah.
a hold of that market. They'll play in Mexico City and things like that every year.
Yep.
They're just trying to expand their reach. At the end of the day, I don't know, man. Everybody all
It's not
bugged
American, though.
bugged
Not
out about the
American.
damn Super Bowl halftime show. Like you guys said, it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And you can definitely flip the channel and watch the Puppy Bowl.
You can go
If I'm
make
not
you a
mistaken,
chili
that's on
dog.
at
No,
halftime.
remember we
Yeah.
did that at my house. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, make you a
Yep.
chili dog. I mean, they was mad at I think it was Christmas when Beyonce performed at Christmas.
Yeah.
Or was that Thanksgiving?
No, that was Christmas.
It was Christmas.
It was
Oh,
on
right.
Netflix.
They hate anything that has to do with Beyonce. And it's
There's
based
just-
off of just Beyonce being Beyonce because she performed at the Super Bowl and did that shit. And ever since then, she can't do no right in nobody's eyes. It doesn't matter that where country music evolved from. She's not country enough to do a country album in their eyes. And she's literally from Houston, Texas.
So
That
let me ask you this question then. So is this outrage and the collective outrage that we're talking about, is this a genuine example of conservative values?
The outrage is, yes, it is.
Or is it manufactured for some sort of political divide?
I think it's a little bit of everything because honestly, my timeline is more so people just kind of making fun of it and not necessarily making fun of Bad Bunny. It's more just conversation. Everybody wants to have a conversation online.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Yep.
But the bigger point of the matter is exactly what you're talking about. It is exactly that to me. You know what I'm saying? In my personal opinion, because people feel like they have to identify with everything, and unfortunately, when you look in the mirror in America, it doesn't look the same way that it used to look, and it's never going to look that way again.
I think a lot of this is fueled by, from the white people's perspective, most likely, the great replacement theory ideals that have been provoked by people such as Charlie Kirk that we've talked about recently, and these conservative ideals, and also, you know, the anti-immigrant, you know, anti pretty much anybody that speaks Spanish, all this stuff that's, you know, immigrants are taking our jobs, immigrants are killing everybody, you know, all this other type of rhetoric that's being fueled within this. But I think that's another piece of this too that is kind of interesting to me. Like, I don't know how I feel about it exactly, from the perspective of somebody who is, you know, a Spanish speaking person, you know, who literally made the choice to not do tours because he didn't want to potentially be harmful for people that are going to come out to his concerts, and the reaction from the government from that, for him to make this statement and to do this in this particular type way is kind of almost, it's kind of a slap in the face in some ways to this administration, in a way that they have no control over it. It's just like, you know what? We're going to put a Spanish speaking person on here. Y'all are just going to have to deal with it. But at the end of the day, it's like, can't we just, you know, to the other, I know multiple things here, but from the other perspective, we're just supposed to be enjoying the culture around it. That's why we have different artists on the Super Bowl thing every year. Just sit and enjoy that, if, or don't, you know, it's like, it's Bad Bunny. He's Puerto Rican. He speaks Spanish. He does Spanish, you know, reggaeton. Like, just get, you know, like what is so hard about just watching somebody? Do you need to be like front and center every single time?
You have a choice. You have a choice not to watch.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, but like, what's wrong with, like, I mean, these are the same white people that go to Mexican restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Also, you know what I mean? Like, they want
sombreros on Cinco de Mayo.
I want to add this just real quick. That concept, I talked about it just briefly, but like even down to the countries being taken from us concept, like not even beyond kind of the great replacement theory and things like that. That's been going on since like the Civil War. Like, it's not a new concept in the United States. Right around the turn of this, like 1900 or so, there was like, I think, an entire political party maybe dedicated to keeping immigrants from other places out.
It goes to the Chinese. It goes to the Irish, the Italians. Like I said, Europeans have had to earn their whiteness.
It was Western Europeans, you know, that like some of them were okay for the most part, like no Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
If you want to look deeper, like you can
certainly
see,
no Southern Italians.
That's you know, there was the United States had the opportunity to kind of be able to bring in more Jewish people while Hitler was coming to power and all that, and because we had quotas at that particular point in time that we would only take X number of people from certain countries, like, and it was definitely much lower for Eastern Europe and even lower for places in Asia and even lower for places in Africa. Like, we were like, sorry.
Those quotas still exist, by the way.
Yes. Oh yeah. And they had an opportunity to be able to help a lot more people.
Yeah. Land of the thieves, home of the slave.
You know, so I'm just saying it's not a new concept. Like this whole this is my country and this is being taken from me by insert name of group. Right. It's been going on forever. It was, you know, the fear of Southern whites after the Civil War that black people were going to take certain things over and that they just couldn't have that. Or, you know, when, you know, it was okay to have Chinese people over to build the railroads for us. But, you know, after that, sorry, you know, it was, you know, what happened during World War II to the Japanese people. It's not talked about a lot, but in World War I, like there was definitely like Germans were looked down upon, you know what I mean? And things like, so and they're considered white, you know? So it's just, we have a confused nationalism in this country. I'll
very much so.
Put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's I know whenever the whites, if you will, you know, they feel like, oh, well, what about me? You know, and with this whole Bad Bunny situation, do you realize how many times, you know, people who are American but who have Spanish heritage, or I mean, the thing is, say Spanish heritage is very
because it's a colonialized.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well.
Because people from Spain and people from Mexico don't even speak the same kind of Spanish. Okay.
But they're all colonized by Spain, and they're indigenous people of all these countries.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
but think about how many times they've had to watch the Super Bowl and just had to sit through it and just pretend like they enjoyed it. It was like, oh, that's great. Think about how many times, like, what if next year they decide K-pop is going to dominate the Super Bowl? Think about how many times.
What's crazy is they probably actually enjoy it though.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, just think about how many times, say K-pop is for the next Super Bowl. How many times have, our Asian brothers and sisters watched the Super Bowl and seen no representation of themselves at the Super Bowl? How many, until recently, how many times have we had to watch the Super Bowl and it be Up With People or whatever, or the Who or the Rolling Stones, and it's all good because I can get down with all that music. But how many times is when you just go out and as a black person in America, you don't hear anything that represents your culture and you just have to deal with it. So, like, I'm sorry.
I mean, the percentage is very
white
high.
people, sometimes you just don't get to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And you know what? You get to, then that's how you can maybe empathize with how black, Asian, and Hispanic people feel on a regular basis.
What's empathize? What's that mean? Sorry. Yeah, no, that's just,
go ahead, Long.
I was just going to say, we even have a little bit of American exceptionalism even built into us because we have such, like, even in this conversation, we think that the Super Bowl matters to other countries.
That's a great point, dude.
Bruh.
First world problem.
They're trying to get it to matter to other countries, but it doesn't.
No, this is not the World Cup.
No.
This is not like this is.
It's not the Olympics.
It's
The
not.
World
man.
Cup is everywhere.
That's why I live with
Super Bowl.
America.
The Super Bowl is very much a North American thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we think, oh, it's the thing of the no.
There are no teams outside of the United States that
No.
play in the NFL.
People
but they win
don't
the
care.
world. They win the world championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world championship.
Oh,
Craig.
that's a great point. That is American exceptionalism, like just a little nugget of it.